Hi, Indrani. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with working with the constellations that I do on many topics. But right now, you have participated in two constellations. One was really more about the big, what is it, evolutionary topic for our collective. And the last time we did a business and money constellation, and you were actually one of the main issue holders. Can you share a little bit about how the constellations work that I do is different, and what you liked about it?
Sure, Angelique, sure, I will do that. Well, I must say I have done many live constellations many years ago, including with Hellinger himself personally. And this is really very new to me, the way you do constellations. And I take my hat off really, because this is a fantastic format that you have created or you have learned or trained in. First of all, it is always flowing. There is no stagnant movement, nothing stagnant about it. And that the people who are working with in the group at that moment, that they don't know who they are or what they are representing, and therefore are not influenced by any way. They just have to click into the universe and listen what's going on, be intuitive and say what's happening with them. They have no clue. They don't know
They
what to put.
trust. They don't know that
Yeah,
whether they're a person or a business or a
exactly.
book or a concept.
Nothing. They
Yeah.
don't know anything. And that was something really that struck me very much. The second thing was, Angelique, that I found in those two constellations that I experienced with you, that the solution to whatever we were looking for was already there. All you had to do with the group was to uncover it, to bring it out, to crystallize it, the solution. And there it was. We didn't need a grandfather or the great grandfather to come forward or
Give
somebody
us
else to come.
forgiveness. Give us permission to be
Nothing,
successful.
nothing, absolutely nothing. The flow is so fine. It's so subtle, but you notice how it's flowing all the time. The energy is flowing, and the solution that you're looking for is already there. And I found that so fantastic. And please invite me in future. I'd love to come and be there with you.
So I know you have been trained in so many methods, right? Like I'm always astonished by how much from A Course in Miracles to, to Dr. Joe, to access bars, access to,
Mm.
name it, and you've studied it. You're very much like me. I probably, when I'm your age, I'll be like, know even more because I will never stop studying. But can you explain to people who don't know what constellations are? How would you explain it to a person?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good question, really. How would one explain a constellation? Well, when I first got to know it, it was called family constellation.
Yes.
And it was about the family and a problem that you had in the family because you didn't feel well or you had bulimia
Repeated
or,
problems or
yeah, all
cancer, or
kinds, yes, all
people
kinds of things
committed
like that.
suicide, or yeah.
Yeah. And this format that you are using is not only for physical problems, or illnesses, but for more global things, and even consciousness and awareness is brought into it much more than before. So a constellation is where people come together to find a solution to now what we are doing, what Angelique is doing now is finding global solutions. You're not looking for a tiny little bit of a puzzle piece that we are going to fix now today, and then in 3 months it's going to be again something gone wrong. No, we are trying to fix it much differently. This format that Angelique has found or is doing is really in a global sense. It'll be a quantum thing later on. It's not going to be this tiny, minute family constellation thing.
About one
But
person. I'm tackling it
exactly.
at a holographic level. And I really believe that the people that come to me, that we are experiencing things on a personal level, but actually they reflect universal, collective, timeless issues that we need to resolve. And I've also had a download, and I really trust them now, is that the work that I'm doing is helping the collective move forward with all the confusion and all the systems, breaking down right now. We have to create something new. And this is also the feedback you gave me, which is like, the way that I work is like I'm creating something new. We're finding collectively, using the quantum field and all the downloads, all the participants are involved with creating that new solution, or actually finding or tuning into that new solution rather than going to the past all the time.
Absolutely. And the last thing I would like, or not the last, but one thing that is also very, very important is that in this format that Angelique, that you're working, everybody gets an answer to their questions that they probably would have come with, or they suddenly recognize during the constellation that
Yes.
they have, which they didn't know beforehand. So I find this really very intriguing how this can happen. I came into the group without a question, without a problem to solve. I just came because I wanted to take part. And then at the end of the session, there was something that was that brought a solution to a problem I had, which I didn't know I had. So I mean, how much better can this be? How
It
it's
was not maybe a problem, but you had an intention and you had a question, and
yes,
the
yes,
answer came. Because I don't think
right.
in the last constellation you were representing a problem. You were somebody who was very content.
Yeah,
But
you're
then
right.
there was still stuckness in the
Yeah,
contentness. And I think, this is content is not thriving. Content
yeah,
isn't living to your fullest potential.
yeah,
And I think so. What I think is beautiful is that, as you said, everybody comes in, nobody knows each other's intentions. I
yeah.
don't even know people's intentions. I just tune into the field, and I'm just like instructing everybody to actually honor their intuition. And I say, don't think that you are making this up. When you are here in this framework, we are going to be downloading. You
Mm,
are going to be connected to the group, and you
mm,
don't even know why you showed up sometimes, but it will be clear to you why you showed up, and the synchronicities will just happen.
yes.
So, I mean, I think you said, I didn't even know I had a problem, and I had it. I mean, maybe there was more like a wish, maybe a dream, because in the last constellation we had, there was a missing dream, or there was a dream that was not even, that wasn't even looked at. This was like a
Mm,
dream that was boxed away, right? So
abs-
maybe it wasn't a
absolutely.
problem, but maybe it was like I was living without a dream. I don't know, would that be
Yes.
fair to say?
Very true, very true. Just living into every day without a dream, just, and the word is content, feeling content, but no dream anymore. And that is really also not very nice, because it's not creative enough. It's not sharing enough. It's not giving of myself enough. Just be content and be there, and have no dreams anymore. I think, yeah, that's what really showed me at the end of this session last time, what I should be dreaming bigger, more, and to
And
give
you have
more,
so much to
share more.
give. And I
Exactly,
loved it
exactly.
what your insight was, because everything that everybody says is profound. Even the tears that are shed,
Mm,
it's like from very often from gratitude, right, from joy. It's like, I I really didn't even know how the answer would come, but I received an answer that was much bigger. And the thing is, it's not an answer. People literally experience shifts, energy
mm,
shifts in their body. Like in the beginning, people are feeling unhappy, or they're feeling backache, or they're feeling headaches, or they feel very apathetic. And then suddenly one representative starts to talk, or they express something, or they download something, and everybody feels better. And I think this is the beautiful, magical work of
mm,
how in a constellation we are actually seeing the holographic universe at work.
mm. True.
So Yeah. So can you tell people what you do? I mean, you know, I know that you do a lot of work. I mean, you
Yes.
wanted to help coach healers and people. What is it that you felt? What do you think your dream is now?
Ah, my dream is, there are too many dreams, unfortunately. Sometimes I think, too many dreams. I
But
don't know
that
where to begin and where to end.
we
I've started,
experienced that with the group,
yes,
that were multi-talented people, mostly
exactly.
people that have multi-careers, multi yeah, educations. And then it's like a luxury problem, like, oh, where do I work? Where do I begin?
Now, because of my living situation, because we live in Greece in a very remote area and we do not see people at all, and I have only internet connection with people or friends or chatting, all that happens on internet, I have discovered that I can write very well, that I can express myself in writing. So I'm in a writing group and I'm now um, polishing it up. And I find that I can write things that impress people in depth, not just superficially, but in depth kind of things. So this is one dream, to continue with this writing and maybe publish things or post them here, there, and everywhere where people can read. And I've had lots of very good feedback as well. That is one thing I'm pursuing now at the moment. And the
Mhm.
other thing is, of course, I'm always working with people who have any kind of emotional or psychological or physical ailments, because I do homeopathy still, and I do a lot of releasing work with people if they have any problems. I do, if emotional kind of problems, I do that. And if I'm can work one-to-one, I give bars, that is this access, touching 32 points in the head, which relaxes you totally so that you can be open to receive all these downloads. You see, the
Can
thing
you
is,
do
they're
that long
all,
distance? Can you
no,
do that long
darling, no,
distance?
no,
No.
darling, no. That's one-to-one thing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you're not relaxed enough, you cannot receive. You see, you can, everybody's having downloads, but they are not open to it. They are asking constantly and they're saying, ask and you shall receive. No, you have to ask it differently to receive. You must be open to receive. Be open so that it can come. So there is a kind of a training I do there as well, to help people to be more open to receive what is being given, instead of constantly asking, because people ask for things that are just absolutely not theirs,
If you would
not
like to
meant
do
for them.
a live workshop on that, I'm happy to help you host it and, you know, promote that, because I think that is absolutely one of the indications of poverty consciousness, is not being able to receive the answers that are already there.
Yes, they don't
Yeah.
see it, and they're looking for an answer somewhere else. Like now. This is what I'm saying in this constellation work that you do. The answer is already there. The solution is already there. You don't have to go and get it from 3 generations away or 3 generations ahead of you. It's here. It's now. There it was.
And you don't even need to like maybe have 20 coaching sessions or read a
No,
whole book, or
no,
sometimes it's so dumb, it's like, oh, the answers are already here or inside of you. It just sounds so ludicrous when you actually are in this brain fog. Yeah.
yeah.
When we call it the trance states of the monkey mind in faster EFT. You are literally in a trance, but people don't
Mhm.
see it. People think, oh, this is who I am. But this is why when we do a constellation, you see all the 3D map of your consciousness of
Mhm.
that specific situation, whether it's a relationship, business, money, a health issue, or any something that is affecting the collective.
Yeah.
And this is why I think me surrendering to the field and the knowing field and trusting the outcome, it's actually a real experiment in trusting, and it's a
Mm.
beautiful exercise when we do it together. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, very good. And I always try to show people who work with me that this form we see is not us,
Mm.
that it is, that we are much deeper. We have something else in us that is generating this form to function here, and not to mistake. the car for the driver, or something like that, or the menu card for the menu, that kind of thing, to make
Yeah.
sure. And because I think that is where true healing can happen. And I always try to make them understand this, what you see and experience is not the truth. If you just dig a little bit deeper, you're going to find the truth. So it's not telling them the truth is in you and you just have to open your eyes to it. No, it's not that way. It's a gentle movement that has to happen. It's a gentle movement. The butterfly didn't suddenly erupt. I mean, it also had to go through all the processes of being a caterpillar and being in a cocoon, and only then did it come out, you see.
Yeah.
And today I heard about the I've forgotten the word for this. The dragonfly. You know that the dragonfly lives underwater?
No.
Yes, it's underwater. It's a predator. And afterwards, it comes out of the water. Something changes suddenly. A shift happens. Something, I don't know whether it's chemical, what it is. And it sits on a reed. And then the sun shines on it. And it breaks open and the wings come out, and the dragonflies have these rainbow colored wings, and only then are they flying around. And before that they were in the water. They have never seen sunlight. They had never come out to have a breath of fresh air.
Wow, I never know that.
Yeah, so imagine, I mean, sometimes people's lives are like that. They don't know. So they believe this. No, there's either a dragonfly or a butterfly or whatever it is that's waiting to emerge out of you. And when you're stuck in this belief of what's happening to you, and that's it, and get lost in it. So that's how I try do most of my work. I do it that way, show them and to give them inspiration to search for it, where is this butterfly hiding inside me? Can I now, and to nurture that so that it can come out.
Yeah. I think you operate on a very high level of consciousness because of, I think it's your wisdom as a soul, but also because in this lifetime you really devoted yourself to the study of these disciplines. And also, I wouldn't say you're a seeker, but I do think you were almost very studious. You were devouring the books and the studies, and
I know.
yeah. So I look
What I
forward to
miss, yes,
I look
Anjali,
forward to planning the little workshop with you about open and ready to receive,
yeah.
because that's a big thing.
Thank you. You remember, Angelique, when we used to do transurfing, we used to get up in the morning. I used to sit here and we used to read the book. And then I don't know, there were three or four other people. And now I think, oh, I wish Angelique would be interested in human design. Oh, I could do that with, human design.
Human design doesn't really speak to me. I know some
Oh,
really brilliant people, and I heard a lot of people talk about it, but somehow it's, maybe it's not my time. Like, when my friends one of my ex-boyfriends gave me a whole book about Enneagram, and he was like, Angelique, this is like the Bible. I'm like, I read it and it didn't grab me. And then a few years later, I was in a workshop with Robert Holden, and I started crying my eyes out because I was the Enneagram 1, destroying my relationships with judgments. And it was like, it was so clear. But sometimes I think it's also the right teacher has to come in, because Robert Holden just explained it in such a way that I could guess for everybody I knew. I knew their Enneagram. I knew exactly the pitfalls that they kept making repeatedly because they weren't evolving. But so maybe my time will come with human design, but it
I'm
really doesn't
totally
speak to
into it
me.
now.
I think really right now what I'm tuning into is much more to almost live without the teachings, and to just they're more like a verification. The right knowledge will come to me, and very often they're very unknown teachers. Maybe teachers that are not even known yet, and I sort of like recognize them, but they all have one theme in common, which is you are powerful, and there are multiple multiverses and multiple parallel realities. There's no time. And
True.
those things really inform my work. And
Yeah.
based on that, I get the results I get with my work. And
Mm.
I'm designing something that will be launched. So, but in the meantime, I'm just happy to experiment with people and to find out what the world needs.
Mm.
I want to
Great.
thank you for this the testimonial, and so I'll put
You.
the contact details of Indrani below this video, so you can contact her, and we look forward to having you in one of our workshops. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
Okay.